It could be on Joker too, knowing that kind of movie. But it is Friday, so we got Tanya back in to talk movies with us. Has Beetlejuice exceeded their expectations, met their expectations, floundered their expectations?
Yeah, I know the opening weekend was better, a smidge better than they thought. So I would have to say exceeded. I mean, it's like $250 million. And I would imagine it didn't cost that much to make it.
I sent Rhino a little video screenshot of that scene because we started watching it on the back porch, I think this past weekend, the original Beetlejuice. And so, yeah, it just never gets old. But if it's still out, I would assume.
Yes, it is. So, everybody's getting cranked up for Halloween, so that's a good one to check out.
But there are a lot more out now, so that's not your only option.
That's
so what's
right.
out?
So the biggie this weekend is Joker, Folie à Deux, or
is that the
part
name of
2. Yes.
Thank goodness you have to say it to get a ticket.
I know. But I saw it, and I'm still processing what I saw. So I'm not sure if I liked it or not. But I will say, if you saw it, if you saw the first one, that was one of the first superhero type movies that it's really and I'll say the same for the sequel, it's a dramatic, psychological thriller, and it just happens to have a comic book character in it. So do not go to this thinking you're going to see, a Marvel type movie or Superman type or something like that. It's definitely dark like the first one. I feel like this one's a little bit darker. The first one, I liked it just because it was so different. And it really, really built.
Was the first one with Heath Ledger? Is that his name?
No, he was in one of the Batmans. And
gotcha.
He won an Oscar, if I remember correctly.
Posthumously, yeah.
So, two separate things.
This is Joaquin Phoenix.
And Joaquin is incredible.
So this is him again.
Yeah,
so
this is him again. Okay. And, you cannot take away, whether you like these movies or not, he is incredible. He is really incredible. And I thought the whole time I was watching, he may be nominated for an Oscar for this because he's just incredible. But this one is getting kind of some mixed reviews. And the reason being is initially it was kind of put out there as a musical. And it still does have the music component to it. It's not every 5 minutes. It's just kind of sprinkled throughout the movie. And the music serves to kind of explain what the Joker's thinking in that moment. This one introduces Harley Quinn, who we've seen in other movies, Suicide Squad, and some other interpretations of that character. And this one, she's played by Lady Gaga, and so that's pretty convenient since she's a singer.
And weird.
Yeah, and weird.
Lends herself to that.
Yes,
whatever.
Yes. But this one picks up about 2 years after the events of the first one. Joker's in jail because of what he did in the first movie. I won't spoil it, but they catch you right up. So if you did not see the first one, I think you would be okay with this because they do a good job of kind of rehashing. So it's 2 years later. He's having to appear in court to try to figure out if he is sane enough to withstand trial. They determine that he is, and so his trial begins. And during that 2-year period that he's been in jail, a TV movie's been made about him, and he is very popular. And so while the trial's going on, you've got crowds of people outside wearing Joker T-shirts and masks, and so he's got a lot of fans. But it's the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, okay, he is a really good actor. But also, I wish somebody would wash his hair. His hair was just so grimy. And, they're in the guts of the prison, and it's nothing's clean. It's just real gritty. It is rated R.
For a reason, I'm sure.
For a reason.
Thank goodness it wasn't PG-13.
I know. So don't even think about taking your kids. I wouldn't. But anyway, I think if you like the first one, the darkness of it, then you're probably going to like this one too, unless you just cannot stand to hear somebody sing. But and then the other thing, the music they do choose, I think they did a good job of picking songs to kind of make the story go along, but it's all those old school musical songs, and I just don't like that. And, I love Broadway big time.
But you think they could have been a little more original?
Yeah. And speaking of that, there is a companion album to this movie that Lady Gaga has released, and it's not music featured in the movie. It's
Which
just
makes no
meant,
sense.
I know, it's just meant to complement the
you
film.
think that's a missed opportunity?
I know, and I think she's been hanging out with Joaquin a little too long, because I've seen her make a few appearances to promote this movie, and she is totally
Also hasn't washed her
doing
hair?
some sort of character, and I haven't figured it out. But anyway, so that's it. That's the big new one this weekend. But there is also, if you're a Mean Girls fan, we just had the re-release, or the release earlier this year, of the musical remake. Well, the original is being re-released, and it's in select theaters. So, if you'd like to go see it again on the big screen, you have a shot.
Was there nothing else released? Is pretty much it?
Yeah, there's one more called Monster Summer. This movie is about a bunch of kids that kind of go. There's like some dark, mysterious secret in this house, and they have to figure it out. But the thing that's interesting about this one is Mel Gibson's in it. So when I saw the trailer for it, I've not seen the movie yet, I thought, oh, that looks pretty good. So I do want to check it out. It doesn't look like it's anything super scary. It looks more fun. In fact, when the trailer started the first time I saw it, I thought it was a remake of The Sandlot. That's kind of what it looked like.
Well, if you weren't here last week, Tanya, you were able to have a little time off. I issued you an apology.
I listened, and I accept.
Which I had texted you, like right after I had watched it. What was it, Falling for You, or
Yes.
for the one with Harry Connick Jr.? And I had to eat my words and say it was actually, I mean, it's not winning any awards. It's not like going to change your life kind of movie. But like if you're looking for a great back porch Saturday, Friday night, feel good, then it was well done. It was really cute.
Yeah, and I agree with what you said. It's like a little, not quite as hokey as a Hallmark movie, but just a step above a Hallmark movie.
Mm-hmm. And I watched Pretties with my 12-year-old, and so it was appropriate for that. And great message for them, and leaves you hanging. It's absolutely not for everybody. It's definitely for that, like if you've got tweens or if you're just kind of into that. But I would say if you're looking for something to watch with your kiddos or your kid that's that specific kind of age, it carries a good message and it leaves a nice little hanger. So there has to be something very Hunger Games, but without all the killing. Like it's not Hunger Games where they're but it's got that kind of set feel like the us versus them in terms of the, I don't know how they say it in the Hunger Games. What is it? The city or the
districts?
The districts
and the capital.
And the capital, but there's not districts. There's like just one, and then the capital, like one kind of thing. But
yeah, well, I'm curious because I know the two main actors are really cute, pretty, whatever. So how did they ugly them up? I mean, were they supposed to be ugly before?
They weren't unattractive, but they definitely made the pretties more. If you had like a Instagram filter, kind of perfect, and so it lends great to conversation. We had great conversation with Neely after it, kind of talking through the difference and what they were meaning, and then there's a cute little love story, but it's totally appropriate for the age set. So I was I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
I'm being pleasantly surprised by some streaming on Netflix because you really never know what you're getting into. It's almost terrifying. And then after that, Beetlejuice came on, and so the original. So I introduced her to Beetlejuice. I don't know which one was the worst parenting option, but she enjoyed both.
I think Beetlejuice would be like the ugliest of the uglies.
Yes, and it's funny too because what we found in terms of like maybe spooky, or I don't know if anybody ever really found Beetlejuice scary. But like to her, it's real hokey, because she can see straight through all of the scene where he comes and he's the snake at the very mid beginning when he comes out. I'm sure that terrified me as a kid, and she was like, "That is awful." Like in terms of awful CGI or awful mechanic, in that kind of way. So.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about the new one is that they kind of stuck with that same hokey CGI or lack of. lack thereof.
Well, I haven't seen that one yet, but I'll probably wait for that one to come out in streaming, to be honest. Are we looking forward to anything?
Next week we've got Saturday Night, which is a movie about Saturday Night Live, their very first episode. And then The Apprentice, which is a movie about Donald Trump. And I've been hearing really a lot of good things about it.
So that'll be an interesting watch as well. All right. Thank you, Tanya. Welcome back. And you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.